you know, do the thing. So it's like it should be. I don't know.
I understand. I used to be able to do stuff and do editing, and I've directed shows and all kinds of stuff, and I used to do soundtracks for people, and so all the software and that kind of thing, back in the, well, I could still do it, but
I think we're live. There we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another day in the Milky Way. I think I managed to drive the bus right. So welcome, everyone.
don't turn left too quickly.
It says live, so I think we're good. So anyway, I'm driving the bus, and the bus is sometimes not the thing. So anyway,
Greetings and blessings, everyone. And remember, the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round.
Yep. I got to turn off the thing and turn on the other one. Well, we got 7 people. All right. Let's see who. Ooh, there we go.
Lucky
I'm
number
getting
7.
faster at this. Who do we got? We got Darth Samuel. Yeah. Peter West. Chloe.
What's happening?
Slanted Steve. I'm glad you made it. Yes, the live is on. Okay, now I can see what people are saying.
How's our sound? 5x5?
Huh?
I was asking
yeah,
the audience.
Yeah. I got a different microphone on today. Can everybody hear me?
Well, that don't mean the connection don't go through,
Well,
anyway.
yeah, I mean, I can hear myself talking, and you can hear me, but I hope they can hear me good.
Yeah, you're coming over loud and strong.
Okay, yeah. Well,
I had to turn you down.
This new microphone I got sits up here, and the other one was sitting over here, And I was like, I wonder if this one's kind of out of the way. I want to get some of this junk cleared off the table and things like that. Oh, they're saying yes, very good, very good.
Thank you.
Okay, good deal. Anyway, we got a great show planned here. We've been discussing what to talk about, and I have some of the hard questions this week for David. He is going to give us the information for finding the quest. The quest. That isn't it, the quest, right?
It's the adventure, and we might as well look at it as a quest, because when I gave up video games a long time ago, other than Mahjong, but the idea that you make it so far and jump on a star and you get extra points, or you make it to a certain place and you get a magic ring or something. So, but in life, after almost 68 years, I'm looking back and going, man, some of this stuff you just have to imagine. You can explain it to someone, you can tell the story, but until you've actually lived part of it, it doesn't really mean anything to you,
Yeah.
And I had a point I was going to make, but I somehow wandered off.
Well, I think you're talking about
the quest.
Yeah. You gave up the video games for the real life quest.
Yeah, actually, I did. I do, and I used to play them a lot when arcade first came out, before the PC did.
Yeah.
So I was an arcade fanatic and loved all kinds of those games. But then
who didn't like pin? I mean, I did the same thing. I loved pinball. Oh my God. I spent so much money playing pinball. And then for a while, I remember back in the day, they had this game, Donkey Kong. I remember that. It was an arcade game, and I played that. I suck at video games. And Asteroids. I think those were like the 2 games I played. And I suck at both of them, really. I just, they're not for me.
Yeah, I was just, the whole point is when they first came out, I wanted to play because they were new, and you wanted to see if you could beat it. But then I got into PCs early because I had friends of mine who were doing PCs and this, that, and I went back to school to become for computer-aided drafting for CAD. And so I had to have a computer back in the days of the 286,
Geez.
You know, I mean, I go way back with some of these things with computers. But anyway, so, but games back then was a fan, you know, a really fantasy. Now you can do them online and everything. But what I realized was I never got anything out of the time that I spent. So I would
Yeah.
always feel guilty about, well, man, I spent 4 hours last night playing Descent, you know, which was, if anybody ever played Descent back in the day, that was like one of the coolest ones, going down in the caves and doing this thing. And anyway, and you shot robots, you know, so
Yeah.
it wasn't like it wasn't like, I don't know. It was all the German things and the castles, and anyway, but I just, when things started getting so real and this real life stuff and all the blood and guts, I said, not only do I not really want to do that, I don't like to see that. I'd rather blow up a machine, you know, or something, or like mahjong, you know, I play against the clock and myself, and it helps with the brain. But but there again, I can't gain that time back. But at least I can use mahjong because of how I play it. It expands. I've been training myself on how to look at the tiles, which is part of which will title into tile into part of our conversation about the quest. Is that I could not. I had to search for to like tiles.
Hmm.
Now I can view the screen and the whole thing and go, there's one without scanning.
Yeah.
And so, and it's not a focus, it's actually, you have to learn how to unfocus.
Hmm.
You have to focus, not to focus. You have to look at the whole picture.
Yeah.
And I've used that, and in life, we have to not look at this moment in time, just what does this moment in time mean to the big picture?
Yeah.
Whether it's our life, the world, the planet, the universe, you know.
Hmm.
But as
Yeah.
part of the quest is for each of us is not so much what is my part in it, but I should take part in it.
Yeah. That's it. You are in the video game.
Yep.
You are part of the video game. This whole thing is like a game. You're playing a game, and you're trying to make the best moves. You create the game as you go, and and yeah, I guess that's about it.
Well, to me, and I've got family members and friends who have played, who have become junkies, you know,
Hmm.
and they literally can't go a day without it. And I mean 2, 3, 4 hours of playing games.
Hmm.
And the family gets together and they all sit around and play games. And I'm going, well, I guess that's kind of neat, but you're still all focused right here. You're not focused on the other person. The interaction is, to me, is false.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be better for you all to sit down and play a board game, and but they'll play a board game on a computer. It's
Yeah.
like, okay,
Yeah.
because it's interactive. But I think I've seen people's mood change when
Hmm.
they stay in a video game for so long. And I don't give a dang what nobody says. Oh, those video games don't have nothing to do with my brain and how I'm feeling. Oh, the hell they don't. You just refuse. It's part of the denial. And if you're playing more than 5 or 6 hours of video games a week, then you can't see certain things out in the real world because they're, and I've been there, and I can tell the difference. My
Hmm.
brain was occupied and I became a part of the AI matrix through the game.
Hmm.
My interaction with it, even though back then it was on a disc and you played it, you know, it wasn't an online game, but I found that me and the AI in the game, you know, Windows 3.6, you know,
Hmm.
um, but what it does to the brain, the flashing lights, the movement, having been mind altered and hit in the head so many times, I've had a lot of experience with what the those folks do in mental health to try to improve us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe it's because, and I did a video about the owl and other things.
Yeah.
And I've got my owl feather sitting right there. And I was thinking about it today. Yesterday, hawk went over, just squeaking and hollering, and ooh, just right overhead and circling. So I was like, wonder what's up. Then New York puts this thing out that they're going to start testing people or something, or stopping people going in and out of New York City and all this
Yeah.
stuff. Like, oh,
I know. Isn't that just kind of crazy the way they're talking? It's like what they're what one, and once it starts in like New York, it's just gonna go to all the other states. Every time you go somewhere, it's like gonna be, oh, I got to cross the border and then the next state. Well, where are you going? Who are you? What's your destination? Are you going to quarantine for 14 days when you get there? Well, you're required to wear a mask. And then when the vaccine comes along, it's going to be, hey, uh, have you been? Have you been? Did you get the vax? So are you liable to go in here or not? If not, turn around, go back home.
it's gonna be show me your card.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Where's your papers?
Where's your
Oh,
card?
oh, wait a minute. We living in Germany, 1942. you know? Oh man, I don't. You know what? That stuff really upsets me all day. I think about. I hear this on the news. I just shake my head. And this is the whole point. This is the questions I was saying. I really need to ask because we're all in this together. Now we had a question there and said earlier that what is the meaning of life? And here's my take on it. You can add to it, but I'm going to add to what you said. And it's the meaning of life is this is a game and you create. You are and you create your own game.
Yep.
And no matter what else everybody else is creating out there, you have to create your own moves, your own game, and you have to play. And you can look around, just look around at other people and see how they're playing. The guy who sits on the couch and does nothing. The lady down the road that may work her butt off all day long and have 3 kids and she takes care of them and does whatever. And then there's the other guy who has a nice big house and a wife, kids, the dog, and the picket fence out back. Well, he's playing a different game too.
Yep.
But the only one that matters in playing the game is you. You are playing your own game, and other people are affecting your game piece. But you are only responsible for you.
Yep.
Do you agree on that? What do you want to add to that?
I've also, because I've been in theater and drama like since 13 years old, and have been in productions and plays and so forth and all kinds of things. Anyway, um, I have looked at it as I've been in 85 different plays in my lifetime. And in some of those plays, I played more than one character. So I've played 85 different characters. And that was
Mm-hmm.
part of my thing. They loved me for my bit acting. I
Mm-hmm.
very rarely got a lead, but they always stuck me in for these little, they needed an Irish cop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, oh, all right. Then my name's Mr. O'Malley. Now, is anybody here going to get, and I'll arrest your arse in a minute if you don't play along, son. So
Yeah.
and doing different voices and things with all the puppets and stuff. So but in that I looked for every play I did, for every character I did, the play itself had its own story.
Yeah.
And so in some way as the character, you had to relate to the story to
Yes.
help portray the story, right?
Well, that's like some of these people, the character guys. They always say, um, they have to go out and be the character so that they can play it in the movie because they have to become the garbage man if they're going to play the garbage man, or if they're going to be the policeman, they dress up and they go around with the cops so they get the idea how to be that character.
Well, and having done 99% community theater, uh, not counting my puppetry that I did on the side. Um, Everything is a projection. So I hate to use, I agree with you what you said about the game, but
Yeah.
I have problem with the word game. So I agree with what you said, but I look at as life as a play, as a
Okay.
theater.
Well, a
But
game, a play, but
yeah,
you
well,
play
the
your part
game,
either way.
I understand, but for my own personal thing, well, it's a game. Well, no, that's like chess, and this ain't like chess. So for me personally, I said it means the same thing to a lot of people,
Yeah.
but there is a negative connotation for me when I use the word game.
Yeah.
That just saying. So in the feeling of it, yes. Now
Yeah.
we have the opportunity to play our characters
Well,
in life.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Go ahead.
okay. So, like with the game part, it does. I admit that when you say game, it sounds like it isn't serious. So you're saying life isn't serious.
Yes.
Okay.
There's just some kind of, and I want to look at this where we were talking about last night, trying to put a positive thing on it. So life is like a play, and like if we think of what Romeo and Juliet, or
Mm-hmm.
what a play by Noel Coward or something. But anyway, or Neil Simon. I've been in several Neil Simon shows, but so they portray life,
Mm-hmm.
and in order to portray life, for me, I didn't necessarily have to go out. I did cheat on this one character. I did. I had to be able to speak like I was from down in the Bronx, and
Mm-hmm.
I sat with this guy in the evening, and we used to drink coffee, and his wife would bring in these nice biscuits and stuff. And so I listened to him every night as we rehearsed our lines. And
Mm-hmm.
after the show, people would say, "Well, what part of New York you from?" And I'm going, "I'm sorry, I've never been to New York." Well, you nailed it. There were people who said, "I know what block where your accent came from." And I said,
Mm-hmm.
"Well, the guy I practiced with was a New York City cop for 20 years, and he lived somewhere down in the Bronx." And I said, then he moved down here to Georgia. And I said, I sat with him for 3 weeks and picked up his accent and his nuances. And I'd ask him, I'd say, "How would you say this?" And he would tell me.
Yeah.
But I actually had people from New York convinced that I was from the Bronx. So in that, I see that we all have the opportunity to play a role. So what is
Mm-hmm.
our role in life? Now, as a game, the negative connotation is that you can be manipulated. Well, as in theater, it's more of a story that you can portray. So what kind of character do you want to be? How do you want to portray this character? Um, it might be very specific within a play, or sometimes the director will say, "Well, what do you think this person should be like? Are they cranky? Are they, are they sarcastic in how they say their lines?" So you have all this latitude in order to develop the play. Well,
Mm-hmm.
in life, we all have that same ability. How do we interact with each other? Well, very little lately, but the idea, though, that we're when we go out of our house, we're putting on a front, no matter what anybody wants to say, because
Oh,
we're going out into public. So we are
absolutely.
playing the part of our outside self.
Mm-hmm.
This
Yeah,
is my,
absolutely.
yeah.
Speaking of our outside selves, we got a lot of selves in the room now. We got Big Al's joining us from California.
Hey, Big Al, be safe, my brother.
Trina's here.
Trina. Hi, Trina.
Brian's mom's here. Milky's mom.
Milky's mom,
Hello.
blessings.
I'm so glad she can make it. It just warms my heart that she can make it to these shows and know that we're all together and this is all Brian's doing. Bringing us together. So
Yeah.
we got who else? We got David Castle. Uh, who else? Oh, Lady Spitfire joined us too.
Hey,
So
girl.
we're pretty darn good here. Satyrian Sun, Gemini Ascension, I'm going back through here, see if I missed Chloe. I got Chloe. Thank you for coming, everybody. Um, yeah, see, I think I did. I got to start sending out the notification a lot earlier and everything. But anyway, okay, so now I got some stuff wrote down because I want to ask you all these questions because we discussed this part with the, we know we're playing, we're a part in this, not a game, but a play. I agree on that. A game sounds childish, but a play is more serious, and this is serious.
Yes.
Okay, so we use these avatar bodies.
But they're very similar, but there is that nuance. When we grow up, we quit playing the game and we become part of the drama. You know what I mean?
Well, and that's the thing. And right now we're all in a lot of drama. And this is what I'm trying to do is we need to think positive, and everybody wants an answer to this, what's going on, because it's affecting everybody. Whoever is playing the part in this play is really powerful because they have the whole world in their creative mess. Put it that way. So what I'm saying is, okay, so I got my stuff wrote down. Let's just go off of that because I do better with my notes because I think all day and stuff. Okay, we need to take a journey. We need to connect to the other side to get the knowledge that we need to understand the world that we live in so we may navigate through it. The journey and how to get there and to connect to it. Okay, we were talking about this. I give you a heads up the other day about this and taking that journey so we can gain more knowledge, because without knowledge, you're destroyed or conquered or whatever. And that's usually the thing. Why do these people put the face diaper on? Is because they don't even know why. Because everybody else, they look around and go, well, okay, well, and they don't spend the time to find the knowledge. Now, we have these wonderful things called a computer, which goes out and can find knowledge. And a lot of us hold one right in our palms of our hands all day long, and yet we refuse to look up any of the information. We just believe what the other guy is telling us. But what I'm saying is we need to connect to a higher power to get better knowledge, because you can't trust, at least I don't believe, that we can trust a lot of the knowledge that we're getting from the people who are supposed to tell us.
That's true.
Okay, so by using, at least I'm just gonna say, okay, so I try to meditate. I even use my rods of raw here that I got from Marsha Price. Thank you very much, Marsha Price. I really love them. They're really good. I hold them in my hand. I really like them. Thank you. So when I meditate, they're there. I really gotta thank her for that. So anyway, when I do this, I'm not. Some people connect to the astral plane. They go to wherever. Can we all do this? David, this is my question to you. Can you do this? And how? Do you need help? Explain to me. Have you been there? Did you get the information? Can you connect? This is the big question of the day, man. I'm asking the tough questions. I'm like,
what is the meaning of life?
Yeah, I'm like Oprah or whoever it is that, what's that other gal's name? The gay lady, the whatever her name is, with the shaved head almost. She looks like a guy. I can't remember.
I typed in drag race the other day, and I ended up getting the new gay thing, the drag queen thing, and I was like, never in my life. I was, there's a drag strip not too far from here, and I thought I'd put in drag race, and I got RuPaul, and I was like, oy vey. But anyway, you never know what you're going to get in this life, I tell you. It used to be that you could plan 2 or 3 months in advance that things were going to sort of be stable. Now things are changing on a bi-weekly, daily, it's getting creepy kind of way. And there are those folks now. I noticed started yesterday or the day before. The new meme kind of thing is anti-maskers,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I started talking about this back in January or February, but I'll leave it at that. What people need to do is not listen to the news, but look at what a virus is, look at how small it is, look at the particulate size of the mass, and you tell me if you think that anything is going to help you. If anything, it's restricting your breathing and it's hurting your lungs. And you're
Yeah.
keeping carbon dioxide in your system more than you should. You're not getting enough oxygen. We're all going to go into oxygen deprivation. So, and that puts you in your brain in a stupor. I mean, but here's something else. It's
Well,
not the people in the play, it's the directors and the producers behind it all. But
well,
anyway,
and a Satyrian son had said, "We're drowning in knowledge," but I beg to differ, and I think it's something you just said too. Is all this knowledge, but what you just said was more common sense.
yes,
You need the common sense. You could have all the facts in the world. You can get every book. I can get this big book here and I can read it. Hey, oh yeah, this is my new book I'm reading too. So, ha. You see that, everybody? You got a good look at that?
for
It's a
material
little bit thick.
mastery.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Man, I love that. Okay.
That's an
So,
oxymoron in
yeah.
shamanic terms, but
But anyway, it's something good to look at. But here's the thing, I can read all I want, but if I don't have common sense to use with that knowledge, it's like I don't have the knowledge.
it's just words.
Yeah, but you don't. I got a good friend, and he is not book smart, but he has a lot of common sense, which makes him just as smart about it as anything as anybody else.
Right. Well,
Um,
let me add this point, and I thought about this earlier, and they want me to repeat it out loud. Um, a Bible will not save you, nor will the Quran or any of the holy Bibles or the holy writings. Those writings will not save you. It's what you learn from them that saves you. So you can
yes.
have the word of God, but if you ain't really paying attention in here, you can throw this book around all day long. Now, pick a Bible, pick a religion, pick an anything,
Yeah.
but it's what you learn from it
Mm-hmm.
that makes the difference. It's not the words contained therein. It's what it means to you and how you can interpret it to be a better being on this planet.
Yes. Yeah.
As Jesus said when he passed through, peace be unto you, my brothers and sisters. He
Mm-hmm.
everywhere he walked was peace be unto you. Thank you. What a greeting.
Yeah. Yeah. And most of the stuff in there, should I say or not, that is common sense stuff. They just wrote it down in quirky ways, parables, things like that. It's common sense, but they made it into knowledge, or they used knowledge and they combined it. And you're supposed to make sense out of that all. But 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 that's the whole point. So when your quest for knowledge is,
Let
uh,
me add this before I
yeah,
forget, if you don't mind.
yeah,
It's what inspires you from your reading in your quest for knowledge. It's following up on where you're going. So,
yes,
yes, you can read these things, but what does it inspire within you? Are they
absolutely.
just words? There are so many people who read the Bible and they only focus on the suffering of Jesus. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like there was so much more to the man than his suffering. Yeah, okay, it was bad. Oh, he suffered. Yeah, all right, let's get over that, please. It's like you're only focusing on the negative.
Mm-hmm.
Look at what the positive things, whether he didn't really want a religion, but that's how it ended up. But
Mm-hmm.
he went around and taught people natural things. Now, in 1970, after I graduated Tampa Catholic, I spent some time with one of my teachers who taught me architectural drafting back in 1969,
Mm-hmm.
70. And we had some private conversations, and she told me, she said, "Where do you think Jesus disappeared to?" And I said, "I don't know, a lot of speculation." And she said, he went to the East and
Mm-hmm.
studied Buddhism and Hinduism, and he studied with those folks. And then he came back to bring the word back, because the word was so much different than what the Jews were teaching.
Yep.
So she said, she goes, "Now, you didn't hear it from me, but she was a Dominican nun, and she was a wonderful, she inspired me to, she sent me on journeys and taught me things about the Vatican and in 1970 that are coming out true right now."
Mm-hmm.
So, but anyway, but to the point about the journey and the quest and where we fit into this picture of the theater. Now, each of us has got our own lives, but we're all part of the big play. Now, whether or not you allow a director to push you around or whatever, there are times when you can say, "Hey, look, this is the democracy here. We're going to vote this person out, or we don't have to go along with this." And there are enough people who are already sick of the mask thing. I sincerely believe that it's gonna fold in on itself. Fingers crossed, it's gonna fold in on itself. Um, because I listened to the president this afternoon, and he was like, "Well, the numbers are going down here, the numbers are going down over here, the numbers have been, they're half as what." And he said, "Do you know that 50% of those that have died have basically been in nursing homes and extended care places? So 50% of the people are already sick and in extended care. So, but that's to make the rest of the population look like everybody's getting sick, you know."
Mm-hmm.
And I've worked in nursing homes. I got a friend of mine who spent 25 years in nursing homes. And she's like, "No, this just isn't right. We wash our hands when we come out of the store. If the store asks us to wear a mask, we put one on. But as soon as we walk out, it's like, nah, .
Mm-hmm.
So too
What?
many medical professionals. So what you need to do is do your own homework and not listen to the news. Something else too is it's on everybody's mind right now, over and over and over and over.
Yeah.
You know it. You gotta, whatever the situation, and this just happens to be this one right now. We need to
Mm-hmm.
back off of it with our emotions and become the compassionate observer.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
if what we see is attacking our emotions or upsetting us, then we're not winning that war.
Yeah.
They're winning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always keep an eye on it. Yeah, but when you feel yourself becoming emotional about it, you
Mm-hmm.
just got to go, "Sorry, I'm in control of this. This is my play. I have the choice to accept or receive or reject anything negative that's being sent my way." Now, the information, the overall information of what's going on. Yeah, I'm not saying I keep my head buried in the sand too much, because, it, but at the same time, I have to still be aware. I got to pop my head up every once in a while and go, "Okay, what's going on?" Um,
Yeah.
just to,
Mm.
just to keep the awareness. But I can't let my emotions get, because it just makes me think, yeah, I've been trying to tell some of these people, blah, 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 they ain't listening. And, and you just
Mm-hmm.
can't, you don't do anybody any good, especially yourself, because all those emotions get trapped within us. And instead of achieving a higher frequency on our quest,
Mm-hmm.
on our adventure,
Yep.
we can't see anything else but what they want us on the chaos that's going on over here, when maybe there's something going on with this hand, you know?
Well, and that's the thing. A lot of this is really distraction. So the
Yeah.
question is is okay. So if we're out there, we are on our quest. to gain knowledge and become one with the all or the universe or whatever, to raise our vibration by this entity over here saying, guess what, you little peons, I'm not going to let you, get to that upper point. I'm going to create something, and you are going to fear it, and you're going to run from the fear. You're going to lower your vibration. You're going to forget about loving each other. You're going to put a mask over your face. You're going to stay a distance apart, and then you're not going to know what it is to connect with anybody. You're going to use this machine here that we got called a computer, and you're going to go through the system that I set up and distance yourself. And guess what? You're going, if I was the big guy, the creator of all that crap, I'd be saying, you're going down. I'm not letting you advance. You're not going anywhere. You're going to stay low. You're going to repeat the cycle and do it over and over and over again, because guess what? You're not smart enough to think out of the box. You were paying attention to this hand when this hand here was really what you were, I was the sleight of hand. You forgot your focus. You weren't on your quest. You went off on some direction, like those like a little kid. Oh, look, I'm supposed to go get the ball. Pretty butterfly. Hey, pretty butterfly, and you run off. What are you doing? You're supposed to get the ball. Pretty butterfly.
What ball?
Yeah, exactly. So, but okay. So how do we get to that knowledge?
All right. Everybody's got their own view. All right.
Yeah.
Because everybody lives in it. You live in North Dakota. I live in South Georgia. Grew up in Tampa. So we know a lot of things because of where we live. It affects us. It just does. Yeah. If I go back down to Tampa, it's just a whole nother kind of woo. Or when I go north to Atlanta, which I haven't been in a while, but it's just a whole nother mindset, But when you live out in the country or in rural areas, folks in rural areas have a tendency to look at things differently. Now, one of the things is that in trying to stay in touch, there's too much knowledge because we look at all of it and go, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Mm-hmm. Just look at it. Yeah. Because if it's news and we're looking at it, there ain't nothing we can do about it at the moment. But the fact that we are aware of it, so being aware of the universe is the first thing. Mm-hmm. So there are a lot of people, we all are spirits to begin with. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, the babies die or, crib deaths, we have that choice of not taking on this mission. I wished I'd have read my fine print, but, I've read a lot of Edgar Cayce, and I would, if no one has read Edgar Cayce, I would suggest that you do. There's a lot of stuff. I'm not a quote Dolores Cannon fan, but there's a lot of stuff I've read, and I've got some books that a friend gave to me, a cherished friend of mine years ago, and we had these same discussions before anybody else seemed to be paying attention to anything. But the spiritual realms are always around us. It's always there. So it's our own inability to listen. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we don't have to go anywhere. It's being broadcast like a broadband, Yeah. Yeah. So now what we need to do is we've got all this other information for, especially these days, with all these different patterns and wavelengths and stuff and all the input we're getting from the bright flashing lights. And as someone who suffered for years with epilepsy and flashing lights, ask anybody that has epilepsy or anything like that, and they will tell you that flashing lights hurt. Yeah. It's painful. And so it's like, now how can light be painful? It's whatever the frequency and being subjected to it and brain trauma and whatever. But I've learned in myself in that If there's too many flashing lights in a commercial, I have to look away,
Yeah.
and it only takes a couple of seconds, and it will literally give me a headache. So, but for folks who are not aware of these things, they just allow it to happen. They
Mm-hmm.
have no idea what it's
Yep.
doing to them
Mm-hmm.
because it makes them unaware. So
Well,
you have to
you're
look away from things to be able to hear the natural harmony and harmonics that's all around us.
well, yeah, because okay, so so just imagine yourself. You're the, you know, this is kind of the easiest way to look at it. I always do is because we can associate it with it. We're the computer, right? This is our input. This is our input. And when when you input, that goes into here, into the head, right? Okay, so you're inputting and inputting. That's from the outside world, from your 3D world. You're inputting here and here so that you can function in the daily world, right? And you get by. But the knowledge that you need or you want to get, that you should get, is actually in here, inside you already. That's the quiet place. That's where your subconscious, your consciousness, that connects to the the real radio waves that you should be listening to, right?
Yeah, in so many words, yeah. Now I have over the years have always considered. I've told people that it's like, if you don't tune in to Gulf 104 at 104.2,
Yeah.
if it's 103.9, you're not going to get the station, you know.
Yes.
So so you can be close to it, you can go past it, which is, well, that's okay in the realm of we want to be higher frequencies. But if we don't fine tune and go on,
Mm-hmm.
and go to the radio dial, all we're going to hear is static.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And exactly. But our our brain is already tuned to that frequency. We have the Earth frequency. I mean, that's just every human is. I mean, we have that ability to
yes,
tap into that.
we have the ability, but it's been our outside world and our surroundings that affect whether or not we can tune into that harmonic. And I
Yeah.
don't.
Well, because in relationship to what you said, we're too busy tuning in with the eyes and the ears instead of tuning in with the head. I mean, look at these guru guys or the Indian spirit guide guys, the shamans and all of, they go on these spirit trips and they go on, they come out knowing more. Even like you were saying, the Edgar Casey guy, he concentrated, he went, put himself into like a deep sleep or whatever, and then he talked with the other side or something like that. I don't understand really how he did it, but I read about it, I watched plenty of videos on it, and it was very interesting. And he literally separated his body, and he was talking, with something else.
It was his astral body.
Yes, yeah, okay, that's the word I was looking for.
All right. Now you were saying, you asked me yesterday and now earlier, and now I've got some tips that I can help
Okay,
folks to focus.
so how can
And
we get that's why I'm okay.
okay,
Let's get
here,
back to the question. The question was, how do I contact my astral, or become my astral body, so I can go get this knowledge that like Edgar Casey tapped into all the time? How do I get some of that instead of tuning into the TV and tuning into the radio and getting all the static that's just screwing me up?
well, then
I
what
want
did
to get the
you
real
just,
stuff.
you just answered your own question.
Yeah, but how do I do that?
You turn it off.
You turn, well, yeah,
You
I do. I don't have
I
TV.
mean, yeah, but the thing is that you also have to, I know that there's crap shit going on out there. Sorry,
Yeah.
that slipped, but I know there's crap out there.
Beep.
And,
There you go.
and I'm aware of it. Spiritually, I'm aware of it. I can feel that there's energies that are just out of whack, you know?
Hmm.
And so, but I think to myself, it's more, we hit a bump or a bad wave or something, but in the long run, we've always survived. It's how we have survived.
Yeah.
So we can take comfort in this. One way or the other, a bunch of us are going to make it to through this. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
How we want to participate in it or not to participate, how we wish to encourage or discourage, how we overreact or possibly underreact. Because I'm going to speak my piece, but I'm not going to put in the title of the video, masked or stupid. But I get my point across, and everybody should just do their own homework. Just do a little biology study about microbes and viruses and their size and their transmission, and you'll find out that this things can't, a virus can't exist more than like 30 minutes out in the open or something like that. And blah, 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 so it's like, are we overdoing this? So
Yeah.
from a standpoint, that knowledge is simple.
Yes.
But if you have to listen to everything else, you retain the common sense knowledge. It's just biology. It's nothing, no rocket science. So in that, the knowledge should give you comfort and go, they can say whatever the heck they want to. I have this basic knowledge that is just BS. Now whoever they are that's producing and directing this thing, sometimes you just have to, as an actor, you have to sit back and let the director rant a little bit and kind of jump around the stage, and you have to sit back as a as a compassionate observer and go, now how's this going to settle down, and what's my part going to be? How am I going to participate in this? I see it going on, but the thing is that with that, whatever's going on in New York ain't affected me. Now, I'll pray for them folk up there, and does it concern me? Yeah, but there's enough of them folk up there to say, nah. They just need to say, nah.
Yeah, if everybody got together and just said we're done, I mean, what would they do to you? I mean, if like you go to a store, if you had 20 people with you and you walked in and you all took your mask off, what are they going to do? Run around the store? Oh, you gotta leave! Oh my God, everybody! And then if you did it and those 20 people did it and everybody looked around and said, "Oh my gosh, you're all taking their mask off. It must be good." They would take theirs off too. Now all of a sudden the whole store don't have masks on, and they'd be like, "Well, just let them shop, whatever." But what are they going to do? Kick the whole store full of people out and not get any money? They want the money. They don't care about. Do you really think that Walmart cares about your health? Do they?
They're one of those that are helping to spread the lie, but I'll leave it at
Yes.
that.
But that's what I'm saying. Do they really care? Does
No, no,
yeah,
no, no.
no.
Because the bottom line is they all, trust me, I've been in meetings with Ford Motor Company and some of the big wigs when I was in the industry. And I'd sit around with some of these big wigs that are making $150,000, $200,000 a year and ain't got a lick of sense. And they're making big multi-million-dollar transitions and movements and this and that. And I just sit back and go, I'm just an old country boy from Georgia, but that's stupid.
Yeah.
And so, but there are people who I don't know whether, and they're in all kinds of areas of the industry. And it's the smarter people that are the sub-level, it's some of the common sense engineers and, that are actually running things. But the people in the corporations, if they get a message or something across the line, well, then they just go, well, we got to follow suit. And they just the corporate throws up their hands and go, well, we got to be, PC about this, everybody. So, okay, everybody's got to wear a mask now. And it spreads, it grows,
Yeah.
But let me go back to what we were talking about, how to train yourself.
Yes.
Here's some simple exercises. I have talked about this over the years, but it always needs a refresher course because I think people forget.
Yes.
And we need reminded, but not to be boring and repeat. But anyway, one of the first thing I learned years ago was first to understand, and after reading Edgar Cayce, that it was possible to be able to come out of myself and you know, and do that. Well, I also had some experiences as a child where I had a magic pillow and I flew around at night with the thing.
Yep.
And one night, my parents came home from bowling early, and I was flying around the room, and they came in, and all I knew to do, and flipped on the light. So all I knew to do was to hide up in the corner of my room, which it was only 8-foot ceilings, but I'm hiding up there in the room, and I'm looking down at myself, going, "Now this is weird." So they go, Mom says, "Arnie, Dave's so still, and he's so, you know, he looks pale. Is he all right? Oh, don't wake him up," and turned off the light, and they went across the hall to their bedroom. And I was like, boom, back inside myself. I thought it was a dream until the next morning when Mom said, "Man, me and your dad checked in on you last night, and you sure were still and look pale." And I was like, whoa. So for a long time, I was sort of like Dumbo the elephant. It's the magic feather. When it
Yep.
ain't the feather, actually, Dumbo had it all along. So it's one of the things that we have to understand. We have it all along. We were
Yes.
born with it. You know, we are angel beings. You know, the last 2 chapters of the Bible and Revelations, you
Well,
know, the angel appeared before John and he says, "Get up, you are as I am." We are all spirit angels, but however you want to look at it in the universe. But we've been conditioned not to listen.
mm-hmm.
So we have to uncondition ourselves, wherever we live, so that we can hear what is always natural and already there.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we're all we all have that frequency. We're all able to connect. We just a lot of us just don't know how to do it. And then of course, oh, like I remember, you know, oh God, it slips my mind. It was just on my mind here. With talking with the planets, what's his name? I can't remember. And he was saying about the little, you know, we had the little pendulum thing here, and you
Uh-huh.
do the board and deal, and and uh, and he didn't. He started out doing it, you know, with the thing, and then he said, well, after a while, he didn't need that, and he says, well, you know, this is just something that I use to focus with. I focus with this and focus my. He already had the energy, and once he realized he didn't need this to focus, you know, he could do it without. You
Right.
know, you know,
That's the that's in the learning of whatever it is.
yeah.
Um, but and here's simple things you can do. Okay, instruction: how to tell time
Mm-hmm.
without looking at a clock. So you pick a clock. Now I learned this back in the '60s. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and you pick one clock, one face. Doesn't matter which one, but you always pick that one because you need a home base, you need a reference point. So you don't want to keep changing. Well, it's my cell phone. No, 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 no. Pick a phone, pick a clock, go down and spend $10 to buy one if you don't have one in the house. But to the point though, you focus on that clock and you say, okay, now what time is it? So wherever you may be, you say, well, okay, I'm not going to look at my watch because I always look at this clock to see what time it is. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going to close my eyes and and just look at it. You don't try to read the clock. You just look at it, and you just close your eyes and go and see how close you are. I'm within 3 minutes, plus or minus. Just it ain't nothing but a thing anymore.
Well,
But it,
and I agree. I mean, in simpler than that, like I was I haven't done it in quite a few weeks, but for a while there, and I really need to get back into doing that. Well, Wayne was doing the cards, you know, and I started trying to train myself to know what the cards were. So I took the deck of cards, and I would, you know, I took like 10 cards, and then I would flip one over, and then you know, I would try to, which one's this? And then at first I would get maybe 2 out of 10. Then I would get, you know, as I got better through the weeks, I was getting 5 out of 10. And then I was up to 8 out of 10. But just which one is it? Which one is it? Just close my eyes, put it in my hand, and imagine what it is. But you do that over and over and over, and I only had to do it 10-15 minutes of doing that. But after a while, I trained myself to know what card it was just by holding it in my hand. And it's
Right.
kind of similar to that.
Very similar. And so, but here, when you start understanding what, for people who've never are really new to delving into this, you see, doing the clock thing gives them confidence.
Yes.
And you look at the clock and go, son of a gun, I did it again. I did it again. I did it again. Yes. Are you awake yet? Do you understand you have this? And you can see the time within a couple of minutes just by blinking your eyes. And now I don't even have to close my eyes. You can just kind of see it in my little picture place up here. Anyway, but also here's another thing. So people want to learn how to do astral projection. All right. So pick a room, pick 2 rooms. So I'm saying you should go into your bedroom and, and recline, not lie down, but, recline, put some pillows up and get in a relaxed position. Okay. Sit there for a couple of minutes with your eyes closed, then get up with your eyes open, walk out of the room, go into the next room, whatever room you choose, and look around and say, okay, I'm in the living room and there's the chair and the table and the couch and there's a picture of old Joe and there's that and the TV. Okay, and go back in and get back down and close the door. Of course, it's got to be quiet. A lot of people running around and things like that. That's gonna keep you from nothing on. Turn everything off. But if you want to learn how to do this, this is how. So then you go back into your situation, close your eyes, and just imagine that you get up and make the same walk,
Mm-hmm.
but without getting physically out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
So if you can't do it right away, not an issue. Don't worry about it. Then
Mm-hmm.
you open your eyes and you get up and you repeat it a couple of times. Then after a while, you'll be able to get up and go into the room and go, whoa, whoa, you know, I'm me, but holy crap, And one of the first things people will do is like, it's like a rubber band, fear will like just pop you right back into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot of times when people, and Brian and I had talked about this at times too, where you feel like you're lifting out of your body and you catch your breath and you go like, oh, whoops. That that's sort of your awareness that you're starting to separate.
Mm-hmm.
You're not
Yep.
dying. So one of the first things that you do in understanding this is there was a mantra that you can use, and it's a good mantra. At any time, you say, "My heart operates on its own, so I don't have to worry. My lungs operate on their own." So you just go through this little thing. All my organs are going to operate and keep my body here. Well, and if I go walking around, it's automatically going to do it, and I should not fear this, because that fear of leaving and expanding, it'll bring you right back in, and you won't be that. That'll keep you in the prison, the fear.
Absolutely. Hey, and then I got the shirt for today. I hope you guys could see that.
Knowledge is power,
Yeah. And
but
it fits.
use it
So
to your advantage. And
that's
now one
that's
other
correct.
thing to piggyback on what I just got through talking about is that in doing so, I got to where I was learning about the third eye and being able to see with your eyes closed. And I've worked with blind people over the years, and
Mm-hmm.
they have a tendency to be able to see things. And then a couple of years ago, on one of these channels, it was showing how they were teaching children in the 9, 10, 11, 12 age group and putting blindfolds on them.
Yep.
And they were learning how to see with the blindfolds on. They could read they could read the blackboard from the back of the room. They could
Mm-hmm.
go outside and play. They could read a book with a blindfold on. And it's because they were learning how to see with their third eye.
Mm-hmm.
We all have that. And
Yeah.
for an example, as a machinist, there were things like repetitive motions, repetitive motions, repetitive motions. And I was outside here recently, and I was hammering away and chiseling away at some old concrete to fix my foundation. And I realized I wasn't looking at the end of the chisel. And I got a 3-pound sledgehammer, and there's my thumb. And I'm just whacking away at this thing. And as soon as I realized, I was like, I'm going to hit myself. Then I went, wait a minute, I've been doing this for the last 15 minutes and have not hit myself once. Now, so what I've learned over the years is your brain once you do it a couple of times, your brain knows how far away it is.
Yep.
And if you trust yourself, this hand will know where to go.
Absolutely.
Now you can be sloppy and, well, I'm going to, I might hit myself. That's all doubt. But when you start learning, and I realized that I have been doing this for years without paying attention to it because it's just become a part of me. But somebody else was like, how do you not hit your hand? And I'm like, well, that's a dang good question. I'm not sure. Wait, let me think.
Once you start thinking about it, then you start
can't
worrying.
do it.
Yeah,
then you can't do it.
Then you're gonna hit your hand. But it looks like our hour is over here. Man, that went by fast. But our quest for knowledge has got to continue on to another time, man.
Well, did I answer anything in any kind of way?
I think you did. I think we came up with a lot of good things, but it's something to think about, and hopefully we'll get you on again here hopefully soon. Like I said, I'm driving the bus and I'm working it out, and I think today went pretty darn good.
Well, thank you, everyone.
I'm learning.
Thank you, Robert.
Well, thank you for coming, and thanks everybody. Thanks. Trina's there. Trina, thank you for coming. Teresa, Saturnian Sun, everybody stuck around. Mr. Mensa showed up too. All right.
Cosmic hugs.
Al's out there driving, so everybody, give him send out some good vibes for safe driving, and him and Perry.
Cheers, Big Al.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, anything other than that, I guess that's it. I'll probably be back again on Saturday with Trina. I hope everybody can join me. We'll see what happens from there. We're gonna try something new. I got somebody to read some cards, and to read a card for us to begin the day with, or the evening with. So it's gonna be good.
Well, next time we'll do a spirit card, a medicine card.
Oh, do you have medicine cards?
Yeah, right here.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see the video I did about the owl?
Yeah, I seen some of that. I caught it a little bit late and whatever.
That was all I was doing. All of that. It's the medicine cards.
Oh, okay.
That whole video is mostly about the medicine cards and about Owl and the ant. And somebody came on at the end that was Giant, and I was talking about the ant. And
I remember Giant came on.
Whoa, that was just weird, as that was going through. So talk about some coincidences. But to wrap this up for you, Robert, I just want to tell everybody, listen, please have faith in yourself. For those people who've not experienced high levels of whatever, understand this. If you don't know until you try. And if you never try, you'll never know. And don't try to over expect something. We expect this, great thing or wave to wash over us. And sometimes it's just a little ripple, but it goes on and on and on. So if you think you're not making progress, who are you comparing it to?
Yeah.
Have faith in yourself and trust,
That's right. Don't fear. Love, not fear.
And an old Chinese proverb says, if you get some information and you're not sure, you take it and you eat it. And if by morning it gives you indigestion, it's wrong. So anything from the universe, if it comes in and it seems a little squirrely, don't accept, you accept it, you can receive it in, but that don't mean that it don't end up in the garbage, because some stuff is just like that, wait a minute, that's just useless information. It may come back to haunt you later, but, but the thing is sometimes we just have to ruminate So,
David, you got 1 minute to pull a card and read it for everybody? Pull a card and read it. And Trina says, yes, pull a card for us.
Okay, if we got enough time with the Zoom thing, I got plenty of time. So
yeah, okay, well, if you got enough time,
I'll
just pull a
card.
card. We don't want to go too terribly long before it's
no, I understand.
Everybody wants to go to bed.
I'll do this right quick.
But it'll be something for everybody to meditate on. I got to get me a set of cards or something. I haven't figured it out. My next door neighbor does card readings, and that's a long story, but we'll have to figure that out sometimes. It's really, everybody's saying pull a card. Now this is just going to be a random.
We did that the other night, and it was two very interesting cards. It worked right in there. So
all right, everybody can sleep on the card. Figure out what that it's going to mean. It'll be good. It'll be good. I think we all need this, something little to perk us up like a card. It just gives somebody to think about. I like, what was really interesting is when Brian and Brian were pulling cards, and they pulled a card for me, and 2 weeks times in a row, and it was always the same card. What do we got here? The hawk. You were talking about the hawk.
Now look, everybody. Now, I don't know if you can see down here. See, I got them spread out all over my table here.
Yeah.
So, and I picked it from like under one down here, see? So I didn't just pick one.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It might seem like a setup because I looked at it and went, no, you got. Okay. But earlier I said Hawk went over the house.
Yep.
And just screaming and squawking.
It is
so now I pull. There's 30. How many cards?
Oh yeah.
There's 30 something cards. So it's not like it's not like there's just 2 or 3, and it's pretty good.
So what does the hawk say?
I'm coming. I had to. I'm looking it up. It's in the book. It's not on the. It's not.
You got a book for it.
Yeah, it's not on the card. Okay. So here we go. Hawk is akin to Mercury, the messenger of the gods. Hawk medicine teaches you to be observant.
Wow.
To look at your surroundings. I'm always talking about that, ain't I?
Yeah.
Observe the obvious in everything that you do. Life is sending you signals. Quest, knowledge, searching, looking. And now, I had 40 different, 39 other cards I could have chose. Anyway, life is the initiation. If you have pulled the Hawk card, then right now a clue about the magic of life is being brought to you.
Wow.
This magic can imbue you with the power to overcome a currently stressful or difficult situation. Did this hit it on the nose? The test is your ability to observe the nuances of power lurking nearby. Is power the talent you have and are not? Let me read that over again. The test is your ability to observe the nuances of power lurking nearby. Is power the talent you have and are not using?
Mm-hmm.
Are solutions always hard to find because you have lost the broader vision of Hawk? Or is the Great Spirit displaying a gift that you need only to receive? Accept and receive. Have the colors of the morning inspired you to create, or has the gloominess of a present situation left you earthbound, unable to hear the voice within the raindrops splashing on your window? Pay attention. You are only as powerful as your capacity to perceive, receive, and use your abilities.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is, what is,
can't get any better.
I couldn't have planned this. I mean, honest,
No.
you know, okay. But they plan it for me and go, well, here you go. The ancients recognized this magnificent, wait. I missed one. What is called for here is an intuitive ability to discern the message carried within the cry of hawk. The shrillness of hawk's call pierces the state of unawareness and asks you to seek the truth. The ancients recognized the magnificent bird of prey as a messenger bringing tidings to their earth walk, the good red road, from the world of the grandfathers and grandmothers who lived before them. If hawk were to magically cry, it was a sign to beware or to be aware. So rather than be afraid, just, you know, be aware, not be. Anyway, this could mark the coming of a warning tribe, the birth of a child, or the celebration of counting something. Anyway, Hawk's cry signaled the need for the beholder to heighten awareness and receive a message. Hawk medicine is a totem that is filled with responsibility because hawk people see the overall view. And that's what I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
You know, we look right here, but anyway, hawk is not like mouse who sees everything through a magnifying glass. Hawk medicine people are aware of omens, messages from the spirit, and the color of the calling card you gave them 3 months ago. No detail slips by them unnoticed. If Hawk has circled and landed in your card spread, you are to be aware of signals in your life. So everybody, Hawk is saying, be aware of signals in your life. You asked me to pull the card. So notice and receive them. Hawk may be teaching you to grab an opportunity which is coming your way. On the other hand, Hawk may be bringing you the message that you should circle over your life and examine it from a higher perspective. From this vantage point, you may be able to discern the hazards which bar you from freedom of flight. Remember, Hawk has a keen eye and a bold heart, for hawk flies close to the light of grandfather sun.
Wow. That is so cool. And with that, we should say that was so synchronicity with our show.
Blessings.
Yeah. And with that, we're going to let everybody go because we're going along.
We love
Okay.
you.
Yeah. And remember, be the frequency you want to receive.